Could it be a chronic fatigue syndrome crash? Let's look into that. What does a crash or flare feel like? How do I know it's a crash or flare? I'm new to this. Well, let me help you with that. So first off, there are different levels of having chronic fatigue syndrome. There's typically mild, moderate, or severe. The worse you are, the easier it is to hit post-exertional malaise. So a great way to explain post-exertional malaise is quicksand. The harder you struggle, the more you try, the faster you sink.
Okay, help me. Okay, stay calm. Don't struggle. Don't struggle.
Now, people with chronic fatigue syndrome, the more we struggle, the harder we push, the worse the crash is going to be. And the worse we get. I didn't become severe until a couple years into it. It was a slow decline. I was an avid exerciser. I was used to pushing through, breaking through that wall, feeling better after I got through the wall. And then one day I would hit that wall and I would go into a coma. Everything I knew was flipped on its head. But that's just how it is for us. Our systems don't function properly anymore. So the signs and symptoms you're having a chronic fatigue crash/flare-up is thus. First of all, you have fatigue. I'm talking debilitating, awful feeling fatigue.
Let's face it, I'm tired.
It's not normal fatigue. This is like you just feel so drained. It is this fatigue that is not helped by any amount of rest.
I'm so tired. God, I'm exhausted.
So yeah, for those of you that are normies, when you say, oh yeah, I didn't sleep much last night, I know how you feel. No, you don't. No, you don't. Sorry. No, you don't. Another common crash symptom is pain. This can manifest itself as muscle pain, usually as joint pain, and it gets really bad. It can cause migraines. It's just awful feeling. Another sign is sleep dysfunction. I can sleep 3 hours or 20 hours and feel the exact same. The thing is, I'm exhausted all the time. And then on top of all that, there's also insomnia issues. For how exhausted we are, you'd think we wouldn't deal with insomnia. But boy, howdy we do. Boy, we do. Does it make any sense? No. Does it happen? Yes. Is it common? Oh, completely. And then there's brain function problems, aka brain fog. Now, I've gone into videos about this before, but brain fog is really hard, really ridiculous, and it gets worse. There was a point where I thought I was getting dementia and got tests because it was that bad. Just the fog that you can't get through, the inability to function at some points, forgetting things you definitely know. Everyone's been through it a little bit, but to have it be part of your regular life and then get that much worse when you're in a crash is really hard. And one thing a lot of newbies don't understand is because thinking can exert you, you can literally cause yourself to get more brain fog, to have a bigger crash by reading, by studying, by learning, because that makes your brain work, which uses energy, versus like watching TV, which takes zero energy. But try and break it up into little doses. A super common crash symptom, probably the most common I'd say other than fatigue, is flu-like symptoms. The body aches, the exhaustion, you're literally laying in bed, sweating usually, feeling miserable, exhausted beyond belief. You can't think straight, you can't do anything. Your whole body just has that flu-like ache to it. I thought I was getting the flu all the time when I first got this, and it turns out I was just overexerting myself and crashing and crashing and crashing. But is it the flu? No, it's not. And you can usually tell because the flu has a cough, a cold, sniffles, puking, whereas a crash doesn't have those things. By the way, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button just because you're my friends. Now, a less common thing that happens when people crash is chemical sensitivities. A lot of our crashes, our autoimmune issues, cause our immune system to go nuts. For me, this resulted in being allergic to frickin' everything. I have multiple chemical sensitivities. It started off as like scents and latex, Band-Aid adhesive, laundry detergent, and as I kept crashing over time now, it's actually even evolved to I'm allergic to a lot of the fillers in supplements and medications. And it gets even worse when I'm in a crash. Now, the last thing I've noticed happen with crash is we just typically have really bad autonomic autonomic nervous system issues. Now, this can be things like orthostatic intolerance, aka POTS, GI issues, constipation, bladder issues, fainting, stress, heart rate issues, anxiety, and a lot of these things can be short-term fixed with vagus nerve stimulation, which I actually did a video here if you're interested in that. There's also this one here, which is quite interesting. Thank you so much for watching, and keep on surviving!